factors. Now, a lot of times people are like, are the risk factors even important? Are they relevant? It seems like they named everything under the sun. And the answer to that question is yeah, they're important. You need to read them. The SEC requires you put down all relevant risk factors, and some of the latter ones might seem like literally every single 10K has the same risk factors in. And sometimes because these are produced by a very specific consulting companies on the accounting side, like Deloitte, etc., you're gonna see that the verbiage is identical from 10K to 10K. It's like they didn't even try to make it unique or anything. But the first few risk factors and the way that the risk factors are organized is that the most important risk, the one that really does keep management up at night, is almost always listed first, and then you go farther back. So I had one person that I was reading these 10K scores once, and I listed and read some risk factor to him, and I was like, I'm a little bit worried about this. And they said to me, May, how far back is it in the risk factors? Is this like a real risk? It turned out that at this time it was actually number 3 or something. But it was a legitimate question because they were like, is that like the 10th or 20th thing in the risk factors? It wasn't. But if it had been, then it would have been accordingly less important to management and probably less important as a true risk to financial performance. Now, I know some of you will be like, what a Debbie Downer to my stock. I'm really just trying to figure out how it's going to trade and all these other things. But, you know, sometimes the risk factors are the most telling thing about what's going on in the company. And they can be really kind of intriguingly fun, like a Netflix series. In the risk factors, you will find things like who is suing this company, for how much, and how far along they are. Now, the company's always going to be like, we're going to win this case, it's going to be amazing. Or alternatively, they're going to say things like, you know, we've already provisioned for this potentiality because we think that this will be what will end up paying out. So there'll be stuff like that in there for sure. But in some cases, particularly with the casinos, there's a lot more like intriguing stuff in there, such as people that have divorced other people that are major shareholders and that have their own special interests in there. The disclosures can really have stuff that is ideal for a Jerry Springer episode. So, you know, while you're reading it, try to look for those Easter egg nuggets that keep it a little bit fun. And even though the language is very technical, it's written by their legal department or reviewed by their legal department and accounting team together. You know, you're going to look for how they wrote it relative to what they're actually saying is going on. And it can be kind of a little more enjoyable that way.